This is a lesson on comping, and I'm going to be looking at the rhythms of comping rather than the way you make a chord up, the actual harmony. The first example that I've written is actually what Red Garland, who was the pianist with Miles Davis, and then obviously in other ensembles and recorded a lot of albums under his own name. He does this kind of offbeat pattern quite incessantly, really, but at the time it sounded pretty hip. I think it's a good pattern to remember, but obviously you need to vary it. So I'm going to play this pattern. It's on the and of 4 and on the and of 2. So it's literally what I'm going to play it with the bass line. So 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. So I was snatching. When I say snatch, I'm just kind of early for beat 1 and I'm early for beat 3. So here you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 1. I'll try and do that again. It's quite hard to talk and play. So if you imagine just before 1, I'm playing the chord, and just before 3. So here you go, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I was to sort of vary a pattern like that, let's take a blues. Let's take a blues pattern, and I'll do that, and then I'll try and change it so that you get a sense of you're expecting the beat to be like that, and then it changes, and it's that change that can be quite interesting. So I'm just going to improvise that. So that was just an example of how when you vary the offbeat rhythm, suddenly it's quite an interesting change. The second example is just to say you don't have to be offbeat all the time. And the reason I say that is because obviously the Red Garland idea is very offbeat. And so to complement that, you should feel that you can play chords that are just on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in that way, not everything has to be totally offbeat. Why is that? Because if it's all syncopated, ridiculously syncopated, sometimes it just sounds chaotic, and it needs to be grounded by something on beat 1. I'll play a little blues and do a bit of an offbeat chaotic thing, and you'll see what I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4. And obviously I'm trying to be a little bit unjazzy, a bit unswingy, but you get the idea. Whereas if you hear some offbeat things, but then you get some onbeat things, it's quite a nice feeling. So here we go, quite a nice sound. So that, I played a couple of minims there, and you know, and crotchets, and you felt that the music was more relaxing, I think is the word. It's a bit too much offbeat all the time, but it's the way you play it and the variety that makes a big difference. So just after that are different patterns. So the third one is a pattern that goes like this. I'll clap it first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you play on beat 1 and beat 3 in the first bar, and then you play on beat 1 and then you play on the and of 2. So it's like you're grabbing beat 3. So that could sound like that. This. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I'm just using a blues just for sake of ease, but it could be applied to anything. So if we go back to that, if I rebel, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, yeah. Let's try it again. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and so on. Number 4 is a variation of number 3. So number 3 was a 2-bar pattern, which this is also a 2-bar pattern. I will clap it first. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, and that would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so on. The next one is a 4-bar pattern, and there's a little chance to make up your own rhythm. So I will clap what's there, and then I'm going to clap my own rhythm at the end. So here it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, ba, ba, da. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And actually I played quite a lot there because I was clapping, thinking of it as a melody, but I probably wouldn't go da da da. And I will show you why, because if you play lots and lots of chords very close together, it can sound a bit busy. So here we go. Yes, okay, in on its own that didn't sound too bad, but if you imagine it's come after this, let's hear the 4-bar pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Something like that. It just sounds a bit too much. So what sounds great as an improvised line doesn't always sound great as a rhythmic pattern, especially if it's on the same chord. However, if you can imagine the melody was do do ga do da, you could emphasize some of those. So you could go ba do ba do ga, and that's really what comping is. It's accompanying a melody, whether it's the improviser, whether it's yourself you're accompanying, because sometimes you're just thinking of melodies in your head while the soloist is going on. Obviously, it's great to connect to the soloist, but the idea is you don't have to play everything. You can leave out notes by giving space or just suspending chords, so that if you got a melody, like I said, that went ba-do, ba-do, ba-da, da, you don't want to go. You might want to go ba-do, ba-do, ga-do, ga, or you might want ba-do, 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 da. That's fine. The last one is number 6, and this rhythm sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. And then you make something up at the end. I'm obviously swinging all the quavers, but you could do exactly the same exercises with straight quavers, and I can show you how you could do that. I'll just demonstrate number 6 with a swing rhythm. I'll put it on some blues chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And that was my own improvisation at the end. I'm going to play it as a straight feel. So I would clap it straight first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 2. 1 and 2 and so. I'll try this. 1, 2, 3. And that gives you an idea how that would be if you were playing it straighter. I'm going to slow it right up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2. At speed. Etc. So that's an idea, or some ideas, how to comp. The next step would be to transcribe the rhythms that you hear in comping, and it's up to you whether you do an entire solo, the comping behind that, or whether you just take an 8-bar phrase. Whatever suits you, have a go at it, but I would advise a lot of listening, and do listen to people like Red Garland. Herbie Hancock is a great accompanist, and also Mulgrew Miller. And there are many, many other people that do accompany, but those are some ideas on how to go forward focus on the rhythm first, and then maybe try and identify some of the notes and the chords. It can be quite tricky to do that, so I do think the rhythm is the most important thing, and you can get that by listening to lots of jazz records.